The Ooltewah rape and extreme hazing case shocked many people in our area, but across the country, one expert says it is not rare.
An ESPN Outside the Lines report shows extreme hazing takes place more often than we really think. And for the first time, Stephanie Sanastasi finds some insight on why these invasive violent acts keep happening. Stephanie.
Kim Kelvin, the reporter for Outside the Lines, tells us the Ooltewah case sparked their interest on this topic, but they received too much pushback from people here to get enough footage for an hour-long special. We want to warn you that some may find the following language offensive. The video and interviews you are about to see come from ESPN's Outside the Lines. The details in the stories and interviews, shocking.
They shoved a broomstick in his rectum.
They tried to pin us down.
The two cases highlighted in the special show many similarities to what happened to a 14-year-old in Ooltewah.
They started taking off my pants, and that's when I started panicking.
The first case highlighted Josh Villegas. The California football player told ESPN he was tormented, bullied, then eventually sodomized.
If they didn't get you, they would be getting somebody else. But it would happen every day.
A similar story in Milton, Vermont.
The eyewitnesses said that they saw Jordan being held down by at least one older football player, while another one took a broomstick and put it in his butt.
Jordan Prevey played varsity football. Months after the attack, he committed suicide.
Two 15-year-old JV football players are being charged with assault.
This is not hazing. This is a sexual assault.
It's the most heinous crime I've ever heard reported.
As we followed the Ooltewah case through court, we saw ESPN reporter John Barr. When we asked him on Twitter if it would be included, he said no, because his crew ran into resistance in Tennessee. Barr says no past and present players in Ooltewah would speak with them on the record.
According to experts, fewer than 5% of these disturbing hazing attacks are ever reported to authorities. Despite that, Outside the Lines has identified more than 40 incidents since 2011 of violent sexual hazing in towns and cities all across the country.
Dr. Susan Lipkin served as an expert witness in both the California and Vermont cases. She says the reason she believes teammates are sodomizing the boys they play beside on the court or the field, humiliation.
I think that they want to turn the males into females as quickly as possible. You're a fag, you're gay, you're the worst, you are not masculine, you are not like me, and that is to maintain that pecking order and to maintain that power.
After watching Lipkin's on the special, we wanted to know Lipkin's thoughts on the Ooltewah case. Today, we tracked her down.
When I was contacted by the aunt of the victim, I was actually outside of the country, and when I looked at the case, it was probably one of the worst cases that I have seen in a really long time.
She says what makes this case stand out, the degree of pain the victim went through and the depth of the culture at Ooltewah High School. Another similarity, listen to the lead investigator in the California case.
What this mom and what this young man are saying aren't true, in that the coaching staff knew it, acknowledged it, accepted it, encouraged it. That's baloney.
And then Gatlinburg detective Rodney Burns, the first to respond to that Gatlinburg cabin.
I mean, what this case actually is much smaller than what it's been blown up to be.
Lipkin says this kind of reaction is common. Her mission now is to prevent hazardous hazing by bringing an issue often ignored to light and to hold officials and adults accountable.
And a lot of times people say, should we stop the season? Well, if you don't stop the season, how are you really getting everybody to pay attention to what's going on and say, you know what, I don't want my son to be sodomized in order to play football? If we can't break the code of silence, we're not going to change things like hazing or sexual assault or bullying or any of this.
The case in Vermont we mentioned led to a lawsuit that's still pending. Here at home, the main victim's family also filed a lawsuit less than a week ago. We found very similar language between both lawsuits, which claimed there was a long culture of hazing and bullying. Calvin.
Thanks, Stephanie. You can find the entire ESPN Outside the Lines special on our website, newschannel9.com.